Kim, back with my Flosstube number 7. Today is the 11th of March. We're back in the guest room because my oldest daughter is sick with a cold. So I had to pick her up from school, even though she doesn't have a fever, she just doesn't feel very well. And then take my youngest daughter to preschool. So the oldest is out in the main part of the house, relaxing and resting, so I can record this video for you guys. So, as I said, it's March the 11th. It is currently 23 degrees outside, so we are ecstatic. We're, going outside with a shirt and a sweatshirt and no jacket because it feels so much warmer. Even though 23 degrees is still pretty chilly, it feels like it's above freezing outside right now. And we're starting to see peaks of the actual concrete on the roads underneath all the packed snow that has been there for months and months. So, let's see. Stitching. Last week in the School of Magical Stitches and Literature was a visit to Diagon Alley. You had to buy 3 items, stitch 250 stitches on each item, and prove which shop it would have been from. So my first stop was to the Magical Menagerie for a cat. So I worked on Trick or Treat by Randall Spangler. You've seen I've been working down here in black, doing extreme cross country. So because it's tent stitching, I had to do 500 stitches. And the cat is now done. Well, at least the black part is all done. And you can start to see the black part of the fence post behind it. Excuse me, which I think looks pretty cool. So that is the top of the page. So I'm going to just keep moving over and to the right until I can finish the next row of pages. So that's Trick or Treat by Randall Spangler. And then the next shop I went to was Florian Fortescue's Ice Cream Parlor to have some ice cream. Another Randall Spangler. This is Sunday Delight. This is the one where I did all the partial pages first, or excuse me, this side and that side. And then I started working up on this banana. There's a large blocks of color in that banana. So 10 stitch again, so I have to do 500. And then also my third stop was Slug and Jigger's Apothecary for Dragon's Blood or Dragon Liver. So I did over 1,000 stitches on this piece. Let's see. So partial pages. And there, that whole area that's outlined, there was one center area that's a second color, you can't really tell. And then you can see I just started filling it in. So I will have to fill in that whole outlined area in the second color for that part of the banana. So that's a lot of stitches, but it meant I could get it done really quickly. So I think I did my homework Monday and Tuesday. And then after that, I started working on some of the extra credit for Magical Stitches, which also lined up with what I wanted to work on for Full Coverage Fanatics. The March theme is vintage, and I told you I was working on A Summer Ball by Sandy Littlejohns. So I think I had already started some of the blush pink highlights in her dress. And what I did is let's see. For the extra credit task of stitch on a piece that takes place in a different part of the world as you. Well, this reminds me of Pride and Prejudice, which was written in England. The setting was also in England. So I had to do 500 stitches for that. But this weekend was, excuse me, let me talk. This weekend was also Michelle Bendy Stitchy's birthday sale with B and S and something BS. or something bendy stitchy. So this fit all 3 of those because it's huge. You can see it is 478 by 129. Plus there's a B and an S in the title. I also worked on this for Full Coverage Fanatics by the numbers 1200. So I've already accomplished 1200 stitches on this. I think I've put in like 1600 stitches just this month. So the lady in pink is done. She just needs to be back stitched. But I have to do more on this lady in blue so I can do those back stitches. These pieces by Sandy Littlejohns, they do not have very detailed faces. But again, once you hold it back, their faces look fine. And hers will too once she's back stitched. So 1600 stitches in this piece so far this month. I might pick it up later again, depending on homework. I think I've used it for 3 of the extra credit tasks for this month, or for March and April in Magical Stitches, so I can't use it for any more. It doesn't fit any of the other tasks. But I might. We'll see what comes up in homework, so I might work on it for that. And I know you guys are waiting for my page finish on Moonhair. So, artwork by Suzanne Geisman. I finished this page and I started this page. Now, it may look like I got a lot done, but the blue and the yellow on the next page that you see is only 4 colors. I told you there was big blocks of color on the next page. So this is what I meant. But I still wish I could have gotten more done, and I'll talk about that in a second. So there's your complete page. I'll get close up because I had someone that really appreciated seeing it close up. You can tell in the darker colors that not all my stitches are perfect, and you can see a little of the fabric show through, especially on the bunny rabbit. But again, once you hold it back, even just that far, it looks awesome. And that's only like 18 inches away from my camera. But there's 2 shades of yellow and 2 shades of blue so far. And I got a good start on the next page. Now, part of me who's always pushing myself and trying to get things done and outdo the goals that I've already set for myself was thinking, I had a page finish and it was only a few days into March, thinking, okay, what I had left is like 6,800 stitches, I think, which is less than a full-size regular page. With 20, I think I had 25 days left of the month for the Full Coverage Fanatics 90-day challenge. So working on this every day, at least a little bit, I was asking myself, how close to a finish do you think I can get? If I push myself and work on it exclusively for a few days, do you think I can get it done so I can work on a different piece for the second quarter's 90-day challenge? And I was thinking about it, and I thought it was possible. Maybe not easy, but it'd be possible because there's some blocks of color in this partial page here too. But then something happened. In, let's see, last week, Thursday, in Magical Stitches, the 2 administrators, Kate and Vicky, finally decided and admitted that they could not keep up with the grading, just the 2 of them. Because there's so much to grade with weekly homework and monthly extra credit and, reading the Harry Potter book of the month, reading the cover challenge book of the month. They kept getting more behind and more behind. So there is a group message that all the prefix from each house and the 2 administrators are in. So we were talking about it back and forth in this group message, and they decided that 2 prefix from each house would be allowed editing access to the house standing spreadsheet to help with the grading. And the way to make it fair, so there was no subjectivity in homework, each person's post, whether it's homework or extra credit or book of the month, would be checked by 2 opposing houses. So Ravenclaw and Gryffindor were paired together as a grading team, and Hufflepuff and Slytherin were paired together. Ravenclaw only has 5 prefix, and myself and someone else in the UK, someone else in the UK are the only ones that don't have real jobs in the real world, that, we stay at home all day. So it just made sense for Ravenclaw that we're the 2 grading prefix, because we have the most time. And then we were paired with the 2 Gryffindor prefix. And so as of Thursday night, we were given the go-ahead to start grading with, so Ravenclaw and Gryffindor will grade Hufflepuff and Slytherin posts, and each post will be seen by 1 Ravenclaw and 1 Gryffindor. So there's no favoritism at all going on. One person grades, the other person verifies and enters it into the Excel spreadsheet. But even dividing up the grades that much, I still got blocked by Facebook, thinking I was spamming people by commenting on so many posts in the events. So through trial and error this weekend, we kind of learned how much grading we could do in one day. Because, of course, Ravenclaw and Gryffindor, we want to get the shit done. We want to get caught up and figure out who won the year 2 House Cup. So we're pushing to get through everything. I was the only one blocked out of the 4 of us. But I know that one of the Slytherin prefix was also blocked this weekend. I think somebody else may have been too. But so I spent a good portion of the weekend, when I was hoping to stitch on Moonhair and Summer Ball, I spent a good portion of the weekend grading. Just stuck in my phone, grading, and then looking on my phone for verifying and entering it on my computer. So once we get caught up, which we almost are, we're almost done with year 2. It won't be that much time commitment, just a weekly take care of the homework, and only a little bit more whenever we finish a book and have to grade all the extra credit. So my mother was a teacher. I helped her grade papers. She was an elementary school teacher. So as a kid, I helped her grade papers that were, multiple choice, true, false. So I just run down the sheet, and I'm used to grading papers. So it's not that difficult for me, although it does really help when people follow the format of the posts that Vicky and Kate pin to the top of each event, because when you're looking at hundreds of posts, it's easier for us to go along and see the tasks in order, even if you didn't stitch them in order, in your post, if they're in order, with your start and finish picks for each one, as opposed to refer to finish pick for previous task. Well, then that's, depending on how you're looking at Facebook, it's faster to do it on your phone. For some reason, the computer lags, but on your phone, you don't see all the pictures all the time. So you have to keep going in and out of replies. So it's just easier if you put a start and finish for each picture or each task. So Hufflepuff and Slytherin folks, you'll see my name on your posts as I grade. We are being pretty lenient, and if you didn't get things exactly right, or if there's something questionable about your post, we'll ask for updates. So anytime you see us comment on your posts, go take a look at it, just to make sure, see if you got your points, see if there's any questions. And if you had one of those homeworks where it was something that was specifically approved by Vicky and Kate as okay for that task, take a screenshot of the approval and put it with your post, because every time before we grade a homework, I will try to, you know, skim through the question thread for that week. But there's like sometimes 400 or 500 posts or 400 to 500 comments in those question threads. It's hard to reach and see everything and retain it in your head. So if you just put a screenshot, it speeds things up. We won't have to ask questions. We can get your points and move on. So just a request so we can get all the points awarded like they should be. Okay, plans. This week for Magical Stitches, we are in the Care of Magical Creatures class and also fending off Dementors. So we need to stitch 300 stitches on a piece with a real creature that has claws, or a creature that is real in the Harry Potter world. And then 300 stitches in brown because chocolate helps you recover from Dementors being around. So for the creature with claws, I could have worked on any of my dragon pieces. I could have worked on Trick or Treat. But that's not what I want to work on. So instead, I'm due on some progress on Big Red Ship of Life. If you look right there, that's a crab. Crabs have claws. It was approved in the question thread. I took a screenshot. Plus, you know, I don't know if alligators technically have claws, but I got my crab. And you don't have to stitch on that particular thing. You can stitch anywhere on the piece. So I'll be doing 300 stitches on this. This is the piece where I do 1 page of the pattern every 3 months. So I need to finish up page 1 for March and maybe get a start on page 2. Let me show you where I'm at. This is the one I'm stitching in DMC 3808 on 28 count mushroom even weave by MCG Textiles. 1/1. So that's where I'm at, and that's the end of the page. So I just need to finish up that corner at least and maybe get a start on this border for my page for the next 3 months. And with that, you can do penalty stitches for this week's homework. You just have to double it, so you have to do 600 stitches. Unfortunately, I don't have enough brown left in the bunny. Since this is tent stitching, I would have to do 600 tent stitches. And right now, I only have a little bit of hind foot and a little bit of front foot. And I don't think there's enough 600 stitches where I'd have to look up each color name of the DMC floss to see if it was technically brown. So I'm not going to use him. It was approved in the question thread that bunnies have claws. I'm not so much about that. I'm not going to disagree with the admin, but I'm not going to go that far. I'm not going to use that reasoning because I have other pieces that could fit. So, for the brown, I could maybe pull out Stretching Portraits, which the frames are a shade of brown. But I think I'm just going to do my penalty stitches on this and get more progress. Because, and this is something that Katrina from 1,000 Needles, she just put up a new video today. She joined Magical Stitches for a few weeks and participated, and then figured out it wasn't for her. It wasn't something she wanted to do, which is perfectly fine. If it's not your thing to count stitches and be constantly told things that you need to work on, and you just want to stitch what you want when you want, that's fine. But the beautiful thing about Magical Stitches for the penalty stitches, if you're willing to count, is you can work on whatever you want to work on. There's no additional points, and there hasn't been for several weeks. There's no additional points for doing exactly what the tasks ask for. So you'll still get full points if I do the 600 penalty stitches for not having brown. So I'll probably do 900 stitches on this piece. And you'll be able to see next week what it looks like, how far I can get. So, and then I'll continue to work on March and April extra credit for magical stitches. I think I have 5 tasks done out of the 11, which when they first created the event, I was a little overwhelmed because I'm used to only, doing all the tasks within 1 month. And I thought, oh, that's a lot of stuff. I don't know if I can get that all done in 2 months. And here it is, the 11th of March, and I already have almost half the task done. One of them is 500 stitches in black, or DMC 310 for serious black. So I might work on that one this week and put some more in this one. So another reason why I wasn't going to use this for the creature with claws, because it'll probably already get attention for the extra credit. And let's see, another request I had in the Full Coverage Fanatics group, someone was asking how everybody organizes their floss for a full coverage project. And I commented with what I did. I took a picture and they requested to see it in the video. So I do not do this for every full coverage piece. I think I have 2 full coverage and Camelot that I've done this for. And that's make my own floss cards. So I have my master set of DMC and the double-sided box from Joann's. I think it's Creative Options is the company that makes it. So there's 1 bobbin for each color in here. And then this is our guest room. So the closet right here, I have all the rest of my crafty stuff. So I have a couple bobbin boxes from my mom and from the 94-year-old woman, Sue, floss that they left me. And then bags of the full skeins divided in number ranges. So with an Excel sheet to tell me where I can find the extras. So once I run out of floss in my master set, I'll pull out a bobbin from my mom's or a bobbin from Sue's. And then if they don't have any, then I'll go to the full skeins. And about once or twice a year, I'll go through and I'll look at these and I'll write down all the numbers of the bobbins that are getting close to empty. I'll compare it to my Excel sheet to see if I have extras. And then if I don't, then I start making my shopping list for a craft store. Joann's or Hobby Lobby, since we don't have a Michael's here. So let me show you the floss cards. I do these for a piece sometimes just so I don't have to keep grabbing bobbins in and out of the master set. These are cardstock. So you can buy pads of cardstock that is this size in the scrapbook section of your craft store. I write down the numbers. Sometimes I will try to draw the symbol. And then I keep a length or 2 of each color on here. You can see this is for moon hair. I've got 3 different, so I do 15 on each side because it just seemed the spacing fits for me. So for a Hade, I have 3 cards. Now you can see a lot of people that would drive them absolutely bonkers to have a rat's nest of floss. But I don't pull these all the way apart. When I'm looking for color, I just flip it down in my lap. So it's like this. So I don't have to untangle the floss all the time. If I need a particular color, I just pull that strand out. You can see that's not a full strand. That's a partial. This one has a partial and a full length. So I'll use up the partial first. And then I do take these all the way off. I don't just try to pull one strand with my needle out. I know you can, but that tends for me to put like curlicues in the floss, and I don't want to do that. So I'll just flip through them and get what I need. And then when I'm not actively stitching, so every time that I pick up moon hair, This is my project bag for this one. I do have nicer ones, but this is just one of the cheap ones that you get off Amazon. So it stays in here if I'm not actively stitching on it. So it stays clean. You know, I'll zip it up and put it in my bag that I can carry around the house. So let me get up really quick. Okay. And I'm wearing my Michigan State shirt because Michigan State is Big Ten champions in basketball. We're not going to talk about the fact that we have to share the title with Purdue because they both have the same record. Camelot. These ones I did not laminate. I forgot to grab the laminating sheets. I do not have a laminator. They're adhesive laminating sheets, so it's one sheet, you peel it off like a sticker, and then I just sandwich the floss card in between them very carefully so you don't get air bubbles. So I did that on my Haid floss cards so they can last long. I did not laminate these, so this is just the regular cardstock. Now for Teresa Winsler's Camelot sampler, you know she has a lot of blends. So I've got, that's 30 colors. There's 60 colors. There's 90 colors. Blend card number 1. I don't think there's 15 on that. I made them bigger. Made the holes doubled. And less than 15 on that one. So these 2 cards, they're actually from a Halloween cardstock set. So there's Halloween stuff on that one. I just used the backside. So for Camelot Sampler, I have 5 cards to flip through. Now you can see this one I did draw the symbols. Or attempted to draw the symbols. For Teresa Winsler, you can tell, these are listed. Let's see, that's floss card number 2. There's floss card number 1. These are listed in the exact same order they are on the floss key in the chart. You can see the DMC is not in order, not in numerical order. So, but they are in color families. So you can tell you got all the blues up here. And again, that's a rat's nest. That's nothing fun. But I go to the card that I want and I pull out that color. You can see it pulling out. There we go. Now I can work from it. Pull out what I use and put the rest back. A lot of times I'll take it all off if I know I'm going to be using a lot. I have this down next to me and I'll just curl it up right here on the paper. And before I pull another color, I'll return it back to its spot. So that's Camelot Sampler floss cards. Let's see. Do you really want me to show something else? Make this a longer video? Something else I do when it comes to organization to track all of my stitching, all of my goals, all the sales that I participate in. It's my Traveler's Notebook. This is for all you Traveler's Notebook lovers. This is a Chic Sparrow personal size in a smooth version of Black Beauty creme leather. So it's very smooth. Creme a lot of times is pebbled and textured, but I like the smooth version and it smells wonderful. It is a classic. There is no pockets. So there's no pockets there. Now, you can see I have 3 inserts. The first one, I'll show you my, okay, so 2018 summary, number of starts, finishes, things I entered in the Nebraska Fair and what it got. Here's my start to 2019, my whips in order. Every time I finish a piece, I'll add the finish date. Start a piece, it gets added to the bottom. Let me show you the 2018 one for reference. I did a lot of stitching in 2018. A lot of those are smalls. So you can see some of them have X's. That means I finished them. So there's a lot of pieces I started, or that line is where I started 2018. All those whips I started 2018 with, and this is everything that was started in 2018. And almost every single one of those that I started, I finished because they were smaller pieces. Then the next page after the whip list is my finish list. So here we've got, I've only have 2 finishes for this year, but here's my page finishes for my full coverage. Being military, everything is using acronyms so I can write more in a smaller space. So I had Mill Hill partial, a full page for Mill Hill, Moon Hair partial, a Moon Hair full page, Beauty and the Beast full page for February. For March I had the Moon Hair partial, and so I'll just keep going. And here's my goals. Things I want to finish, and how many pages. I told you I set page goals for each piece. Some of those are not feasible because I didn't know. You can see for Trick or Treat, I put finish the black. Okay. If you look at the number of stitches for black for Trick or Treat, it's over like 10 pages. It's like 9 or 10 pages worth of black. I'm not going to get that done. So that was a goal that I set that I didn't pay enough attention to when I was setting it. And I put less than 15 no-stitch days in the year. I think I did like 31 no-stitch days in 2018. Let's see. I didn't write it down. And then each month I have a tracking page to actually track what I work on. You see Moon Hairs at the top, working every single page. When I fill in the top part of the X, that means a page finish. Filling in the whole block means I finished that piece. So that was Winter by Country Cottage Needleworks. And I can see, you can see there's one of those days where I worked on 5 pieces. Thanks to Magical Stitches, I worked on 5 pieces in one day. And then what I do at the end of the month, I'll transpose this information into my Excel sheet that tracks how many days I work on each piece. So that's the first insert. The second insert, now these pages are messy because you can see I use a friction pen so you can erase, which is a good thing when you're planning your sals, because you may change what piece you want to work on. You may change what sales you participate in altogether. And I did a lot of erasing on these pages, so some of them aren't easy to read. That's what it would, okay, here's January. There's a lot written on there because I was also writing down Magical Stitches homework. But these are personal goals, pieces I will work on every month that may not fit into the sales. So for December, I was doing those Lizzie Kate stamps of the month. And I was doing Guardians of Notre Dame. So you have all the sales, mostly Stitch Mania, Full Coverage Fanatics, and Magical Stitches. That's all that is. And then I put a check mark next to it once I've at least started working on it, even if I don't hit the goal. So that's 1 page a month. So I've got things like there's April and May. I don't have anything tentatively written in. So I haven't done that pre-planning yet. The third insert, I don't really use that often. This is when I was trying to catalog and track the patterns in my stash that I thought I might eventually want to stitch. So I had different sections. I had, want to stitch that's Christmas, And I put where to find that pattern, whether it was a hard copy or one of my digital magazines or just a PDF on my computer. So some of them are by topic, some of them are by designer. Like I've got Blackwork Journey, Harry Potter, there's Wee Little Stitches, I've done most of those. Miscellaneous, Teresa Wensler. Here's winter stuff that's not Christmas. My Hades. I have a lot of Shannon Walsley for Shannon Christine designs. And there's all my Joan Elliott's. They each got a page each. Excuse me. And then in a different section, I've got washi tape to say patterns for occasions / people. These are lower on my priority list of things I might want to stitch. And then there's another section, may stitch eventually, depending on, like here's some flowers. If I'm looking for a flower piece, I can go to this insert and easily look to see what I have that I may want to stitch. So things for my girls, you know. And that's my traveler's notebook. So I work on this, or I open this every single day, at least to track what I worked on that day. So that's how I organize my stitching. I need to finish transposing the February information onto my Excel sheet. I have reached 500 subscribers. So I want to thank everyone who has subscribed, who watches, who likes, who comments. I really appreciate it. This is only my 7th video and I already have 500 subscribers, so that really makes me happy. It makes me feel like you guys actually like what I'm talking about. So thank you from the bottom of my heart. I will return next week with some more progress to show you guys. In the meantime, have a good stitchy week. We're actually supposed to get above freezing this week in North Dakota, so we're ecstatic. I can't wait. The only thing is, when we're hovering in the 20s and 30s, it's actually warm enough to snow. So we got a dusting of snow this past weekend, because when the wind chill is ridiculous, it's really too cold to snow. We don't get that much snow when it's, you know, -30, -40. But now that it's in the 20s, we're getting more snow. So it's kind of contradictory. Spring is coming, but here's some more snow. So we'll try to get through it. Winter does not last forever. So thanks again for watching. Have a good stitchy day. Bye, guys.